think for me the issue was, I don't know. I really don't think the cultures are super accepting of it.
Yeah.
Like there's all. I mean, we talk about it on here, like how unaccepting they are to if you don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, imagine what it's like to not be like actually full blood. You know, it's like times 10. You know.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Jalissa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brennan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
Stevie's back.
Hey, what's up? And I got my laptop. That's like y'all not ready.
It's
like
serious business.
when Steve has his laptop, it's like different. And you already know I'm about to put a fucking 40 point. Yeah, I'm about to yap. But I'm about to put a 4-point game.
He's about to yap.
I'm like it's like when Spider-Man comes out with the black symbiote, you know? You just know it's going to be a different outcome. But I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? How'd you guys enjoy last week's solo yap session with each other?
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Really?
It was nice not hearing somebody yap in your ear, you know?
Yeah.
I do talk a lot. Did the audience miss me? Did you guys miss me? Probably not. I feel like they had too much of me. Maybe they want me to go away forever.
Maybe they realize that they actually miss you even more, bro.
Maybe.
Is that true?
Maybe.
Everybody send me.
Did anybody comment?
Everybody Venmo me $20, please. Well, I mean the episode just released.
Oh,
Technically today, so
no comments. You can
I
check right
wanna-
now.
Yeah. You know what? I'll check right now. I hope there's no hate comments. If it is, I'll literally respond to it live on this show. Let me see.
People woke up drinking Haterade today.
Like it's because they were listening to Kendrick's concert. That just happened yesterday for you guys.
Did you guys watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free on Amazon.
I know. Was it good?
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty.
pretty good. I liked his camp set list better.
YG
personally.
performed. There's no comments.
Damn. Where's
No
no
one's commented
comments?
yet.
No Patty with Fatty? Bro
No.
fell off as our first fan.
Damn, I
Yeah,
know.
who? Patrick?
Yeah.
Oh, he hates me, bro. We're not friends anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
what
he hates
happened?
me. He said, it's something like I just killed his dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something simple.
You know,
killed his
guys, we
dog?
knew this guy in college who told us that his dad killed his neighbor's dog.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
did.
that was really weird.
But like intentionally, like
Yeah,
you
he
did?
said I don't know what we were talking about, but he was talking in a way that was like, "Oh, guys, you guys are gonna love this story."
Yeah, he said it in a way of like where he was saying a joke and
He
he
was-
couldn't. Y'all not ready for the punchline.
Yeah, and he was also trying to make his dad seem like super badass or whatever. You know how dudes be. I don't know what we were talking about, but he was like, "Yeah, we used to have this fucking neighbor, and their dog was just so annoying. Like it just always like yap, like it just be barking."
Uh-huh.
And he was like, so my dad just like straight up went outside with a bat and like killed their dog. And me and Steve were like, "Oh,
A bat?
A
Yeah,
Oh,
no bullshit.
bat?
This is a real
yeah,
story. Yeah,
I always bring it up to him. Like
Yeah,
that's I remember
randomly too. He'll
I-
just tell me. He's like, "Remember that story?" He's like, "Yeah."
because I remember me and Steve didn't laugh. We were just kind of like, "Oh," like, and then he was like, and then he just didn't say anything.
But he would always say shit like "Don't come to school the next day" type vibe of like. Do you remember when he was like the teacher gave him criticism for one of his projects?
Oh yeah,
And he's like, he will rule the day that
yeah. No,
the way he
was-
humiliated me.
he did say that. He was like, that guy humiliated him. He said some like big thesaurus word. He was like, he chastised me or some shit like that. And we were like, I mean, the class is about criticism, you know? So like, I don't know about all that. And then,
He would genuinely be that type of vibe of like, oh, like just be on his good side.
I don't know, but I think he was just a little like, you know, a little
screws
silly,
loose.
a little silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always think about that dog story. Like
You
that
beat him up with a bat?
he was probably lying. You know how some people just be lying, you know?
They over exaggerate?
Yeah, they over exaggerate. I think he was trying to like either make us laugh or make himself seem cool. But I was like, why would that be the story?
That didn't win you over, bro? You didn't think suddenly like,
Yeah.
hey,
So you
man.
think he was lying about the whole entire thing? Or what do you
Probably.
mean?
I don't know. I feel like that's a little. If he wasn't lying, whoa. I'm
His
concerned for that.
dad's probably a murderer.
His
then.
dad's probably like a psycho.
That's
But I don't
probably
know.
serial
You,
killer,
you
bro.
guys never met people like that in school who they just be like, you're obviously lying, bro. Like that obviously didn't happen.
Hell yeah. I
'cause-
know a bunch of people who would say a bunch of bullshit stories.
Because you know how like on Reddit, like you'll see those things like on TikTok, like, oh,
Mhm.
reading this Reddit story, and it's like, oh, well, my wife cheated on me and then I won the lottery and haha. It's like, well, that obviously didn't happen, bro. So.
Yeah, there was like this common thing where, especially if you grew up playing video games, like let's say you're playing Super Smash Brothers, where it's like if you don't know the game, it's you unlock a bunch of characters, and there always be these things about like, oh my god, last night I unlocked Sonic, which wasn't like a real thing. Like it didn't make any sense. How can you unlock Sonic? He's part of the fucking what is Sonic part of? What's the Sony? I don't remember, but
Saga?
Nintendo? No,
Sega. There you go. He was part of Sega, not part of Nintendo. How can he be on the game? Especially because this is back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids would be like, "No, I swear I unlocked Mickey Mouse. Like he was in the game. I swear you. All you gotta do is like pray and
Google this. I like when you have a laptop because then you can Google what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
Why do people lie so much? Because a lot of people lie.
Why? I'm asked ChatGPT. I feel like that's not a Google thing.
Because I don't know. You've probably met people like that. Where you're like, I'm pretty sure you're lying. Like.
Why do people lie so much? Well, because I think it makes people feel cooler. At least, okay, my take. Let's give each other our takes first. I think people lie because I think that it gives this fantasy of that I'm a lot more cooler than you think, especially when you're younger and you feel insecure about your experiences. I think people lie because of insecurity. There you go. Brandon, what do you think?
You said this was in college?
Yeah, so that's how I was like, well, this was...
He wanted to be like...
This was like a week before lockdown. Like, because we were in that one class. It was like a week before lockdown, so 2020. This guy was before lockdown. Yeah, this guy was a little older.
They probably killed each other then.
Who?
They got annoyed of each other. If that story is true and they got that irritated.
I don't know. I feel like I think he was just lying. Honestly, but if he wasn't, my God, like what a horrible...
because I'm just like... You know how they always say it starts with animals? That's what I'm like.
But I guess it was for me. It was just the way he was saying it. Like, this is not only is this funny, but this is gonna show you how cool my dad is. Or it didn't have either of those effects. I was like, I don't. It wasn't that funny. If anything, it was more funny because I'm like, why would you think that was funny? Like, you know. And then. It didn't make me think his dad was cool.
Contextual, I think if I remember correctly, the only reason he brought it up was because I think I was complaining about that my neighbors hated that my dogs barked all the time. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I just remember.
Yeah, that might have been what it was. And he was like, and I was just complaining about how like my neighbors are sensitive and how they gotta shut the fuck up. And he's like, bro, I know. Like one time, my neighbors had this dog that wouldn't shut the fuck up. And my dad went over and killed them. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, he said specifically he took a bat and like he just straight up killed their dog. Damn. And I remember I was like, oh. And it was this really tiny class, really quiet, like library quiet. And so when me and Steve were just kind of like
side eye,
we were like, oh. He just kind of turned around. Oh, because he sat right in front of me.
I'm just going to do my work.
He kind of just turned around and just started doing his work. I remember being like, that was insane. That was wild.
I think he like texted me during class. It was like, bro, did you think that story was funny? But see, ChatGPT's yapping to me is just saying the reason people lie is it's psychological, social, and situational factors. Self-preservation to avoid punishment. Gain or advantage to achieve personal gains such as financial benefit, social status, or personal achievement, blah, 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 blah. The basically just take what I said as true because everything I say is always true. Am I right, Brendan?
Yeah, I'm looking to see if it's in our text. If I did.
You don't have the notification where it erase your text like after like 30 days?
No.
Save space, bro.
Oh, really?
But anyways, moving on into the show.
Yeah.
Guys, since we are Classroom 3, I have the morning news for you for our fellow Californians out there. And even if you're not from California, you might find this interesting. So there are some new California laws going into effect on July 1st, which is cool because this episode releases before then. So you guys will be in full effect that these are around the corner. First thing, this one's like mid. You guys tell me. Drug testing kits in bars that businesses with an on-sale general public premises alcohol license must sell drug testing kits at a price not much higher than wholesale and post notices about their availability to prevent drink spiking. So like
drink test kits?
Yeah. So like if you got like roofied or anything else.
I think they should be free if it's a bar.
Yeah.
I feel like they should be free.
Yeah, just never satisfied, huh? It's never enough.
Well, I'm paying to prevent myself getting roofied, bro.
Yeah, I agree. They should have like straws that change color.
Come on, guys, give them a break. Throw them a bone.
No.
These poor politicians, man. They just
These
want
poor
to.
Poor?
politicians.
They're not poor.
Second thing is gun tax. This one's okay. This one's like it just says that there's an 11% state tax on firearms in California. It's nothing that crazy. But the next one, hidden fees. The law requires that advertised or displayed prices for most goods and services include all fees and charges, specifically the hidden fees that you often see in places like Airbnb, businesses, restaurants, and bars, even delivery apps. So it's basically saying that like you have to be honest now about what you're charging people. You can't just be like, oh, it's only $7.99 to rent this room, and then like, oh, it's actually like $20 plus this.
Oh, they have to include.
Yeah, they have to put the full price for California, which is cool. What do you guys think? Especially July 1st in the summer of our lives. You know,
what?
Like, I guess because like it's
Is that a
summer.
reference? Oh,
No, I mean like because it's like summer. So
I think
everybody's
that's
having
cool.
fun.
I think that's cool. I think, yeah, that's cool.
Julie, what do you think?
About what?
Fuck you, Julie. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm
About
saying.
what? Well, it's because like I was trying to look for what they're specifically called, but I don't know if you guys have ever been to like different places. Like sometimes if you go like to a
I've
restaurant
been to different places.
or like these clothing stores, sometimes they have like this additional tax that's called like the happy tax, or like it's not actually
What?
called happy tax, but it's like something stupid where it's like the
rainy day
the
tax.
friend tax or some shit like that. Like I don't know if you guys have ever looked at your receipts, but there's like sometimes like an additional tax
Yeah.
in it, and I'm always trying to figure out what that is and why there's an additional tax and why they're allowed to like call it that way.
Yeah, that's probably it. They have to now like advertise that they have that included. I think what is it called? There's this rooftop bar in downtown LA where they have a security tax now. Have you heard about it? They have because they're in downtown LA. And you know how there's a lot of quote unquote vagrants, basically homeless people or people who they see as a danger.
From protection.
Yeah, you're paying them for protection,
like a mob.
Yeah, but people were saying that one's controversial because the bar is literally on the fucking roof. Yeah. So it's like, and it's in a hotel. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, you're regardless gonna have security for the hotel. Why are you paying people who are just going to the restaurant to have to pay that? It doesn't make any sense.
It's gonna be a revolution.
Shame them.
Why does money exist? Why do we have money? We didn't have to have money. We didn't have to. Nobody forced us.
It used to just be trading, bro.
It used to be trading. We didn't have to do all this. I don't know who decided to do this.
So this one's
Can you
cool.
Google that? Who invented money?
Who invented the white man?
What's the oldest oldest known form of currency?
The Lydians, bro. Fuck them. I knew it. Look, this is literally a white dude. He's got the full white wig.
Can you read the little?
Oh, however, in recent years, Chinese archaeologists have uncovered evidence of a coin production mint located in China's Henan province, thought to date to 640 BC. China?
But why are you looking at me?
Because your ancestors
What does that mean?
created money. It means you're being a hypocrite, bro.
Explain the joke.
Let me see. The first coins date back to Turkey and China. Basically, it looks like
We didn't have to have money, man. We could have just traded.
trade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like having money. I like having the ability to just like buy stuff. Am I right, my capitalist buddies?
We could have just traded for stuff.
What would we trade? All
like
right, let's.
what, like crops.
Yeah, let me say.
Crops.
Like what you got right now that you
What
would
do I
trade
got
me
on
right
me?
now?
Yeah. What if I wanted a PS5?
It was a lot. It's a lot of things. You'd probably trade services or goods, right? What do I have?
So
that you guys want?
you'd mow my lawn
Maybe.
or something.
Maybe.
How much work would I have to do for a PS5?
How much work would you have to do
Yeah,
for a PS5?
let's say you had a
But-
PS5 and I wanted. You do have a PS5. Your sister has a PS5.
It's not mine to trade.
No,
You
trading.
No, that's not how it works. Wouldn't you go to the PS5 people and trade with them? Wouldn't you go?
Okay, fine. Let's say I wanted the shirt off your back. What
The
do you
shirt
give it
off their
for me?
back.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it has to be for trade. No, I don't think that's how trading works.
Well, yeah. What do I give you for the shirt off your back?
Am I selling my shirt?
Yes.
But
in
if
this
you were
hypothetical.
in this
okay.
scenario, if you were,
Well,
selling
then
your shirt.
I'd look through your cousin and be like, "Give me that shirt." It's like that, no?
There you go.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
I guess
there you
that's
go.
true. man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you thought you had me there, huh?
I love money. I can't have enough money.
So then in stores, would it be like, I'm giving you these 3 shirts for the
I don't
3
know.
shirts in the
Look
store?
up how does trading work. How does trading work,
Bro,
amongst the natives?
it's simple. Like it's in us. It's
I don't
instinctually
think so,
in us.
because I was watching this movie, this old western, and oof, man, it's really like it's a little racist. They have like this trading scene with like Native Americans, and like it's like supposed to be funny, but the cowboy, like, he accidentally trades for a wife, and he's like, this Native American wife I accidentally like bought. I don't know.
I accidentally bought your wife.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember I was watching that and I was like, yikes, dude, this is wild. But anyways,
Okay, well, moving on. This is the one that I found the most interesting. So, in July 1st of 2024, a bill will pass that gets rid of suspensions in schools.
suspensions, like
Yeah, like you can't suspend kids anymore. It's called the Keep Students in School bill.
Did they have like a reasoning? Like, what's the?
I mean, not in this article. Not in this article.
Were you ever suspended?
Me? No. Come on, I was a good kid.
Were you ever suspended?
What's
Julie?
suspended? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
It's like you're not allowed to go to school for.
Because then there's expelled, right?
Yeah, expels you. You're kicked out of school
Okay.
Yeah,
permanently.
but suspended means you have the opportunity to come back after
like
a certain set of time.
you go to home jail.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
You're under house arrest.
Maybe I
I guess.
have.
Oh, come on, none of us have ever been suspended. We're all good kids. I mean,
I guess
is that controversial to say?
I guess that doesn't fix anything, right? Like if you're suspended, like you
True.
you did school, well, you better not come to school then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's the opposite. It's like you hate coming to school and you get into fights. Your punishment is that you won't come to school for a
Yeah.
few weeks.
Why don't you see how you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's not that crazy. But the
Yeah.
other one is cool. Menstrual products in school. The existing law that requires public schools to provide free menstrual products and restrooms for grades 6 to 12 is being expanded to include grades 3 to 5. Yay.
Very cool.
Dude, as a woman, I'm surprised you're not like more excited.
Well, people are saying that they're changing the sizes. Haven't you heard about that?
Yeah, I have. I was gonna talk about that today, and I didn't think I had time. I have a lot.
Shrinkflation.
I have a lot of topics.
Shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation.
Yeah.
Stay tuned next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it's free. No,
Yeah.
you know, it's free. It's something.
Finally. Woo.
Yeah, but that's it for the news. That was my news segment for all you out there.
Are we gonna get copyright?
Or is it
for
California?
That?
My
I
little
It's
don't,
little
I don't think you. Oh, the tune.
my tune.
His tune.
It was it's original.
I thought you were talking about like him reading
no,
the.
I was talking about the little tune that he did.
But the second thing I wanted to talk about was the House bill about the draft. Have you heard about it?
No.
It just basically there's a new bill that has reached the House that basically automatically enrolls men from ages 18 to 26 into a draft, which basically means that if the United States were to go into a war right now, especially with everything that's going on in the world, if ages 18 and 26 would be put in a draft, which means it's like a lottery where they might have the U.S. can select
They pull your
people.
birthday. Aren't we
Yeah.
all? I'm confused. I thought we already
Yeah,
are in the
yeah.
draft.
So let me explain.
Yeah.
Let me explain. So in the past, it was manual, right? When
Yeah.
you become 18 or when you
Ye-
go to DMV, you have to write, or if you accept FAFSA, you have to put it. This bill makes it automatic. So anyone who turns 18, you're
Just in the
automatically in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to go to the DMV. You don't have to get like paperwork. The
Yeah.
U.S. automatically just saw that you turned 18 and you're automatically in there. And it also expanded it. It used to be to 24, now it's to 26.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Damn, bro, you 2 more years and you're chilling.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Yeah, bro.
Huh?
Brandon, how long? How long do you have?
I don't know. I don't think I qualify. I have flat feet.
Flat feet? Is that an actual thing?
It is
back
yeah.
in the day. Yeah.
Back in the day.
My dad told me about this. You know, have you ever heard? They say in SpongeBob why they call police flatfoots. Because usually if you had flat feet, or I guess it's like a myth, you couldn't go to the military, so that most of those people would end up becoming cops. So then they back out, you're just a flatfoot, like a military reject.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
more
what they
you know,
usually
I
say.
guess,
No wonder they're always mad.
Yeah, I don't think they do that
They're bitter.
anymore. I think that's
Yeah.
like a 50%.
They're bitter.
They're bitter, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not all. That's
What?
not all I had to say. A new bill would require women to register for the draft.
Damn.
So it's not just us men, Julie. you might have to register for the draft too.
What's the age?
It says the Senate Armed Forces Committee has created their version of the NDAA where the draft eligibility would be extended to women. The proposal to have women register for the draft is not included in the House's version of the bill, the new one that just passed. Some experts say it's necessary and fair to make draft talent unified in the event of a national emergency.
But we don't even have equal pay.
Bro, I mean, as a man, as a person of color, I don't have equal rights either.
Or like, what's the other one? Abortion rights?
Yeah. Well,
Human reproductive rights?
bro, I mean, well, yeah, anybody who gets sent to war, even at 8.
Shit.
No.
Someone who gets sent to war at 18 doesn't even have the rights to buy a drink or buy a smokes or even rent a car.
I was telling Julie last week that I hate when what do you call those dudes? Those like the Menonists or whatever.
The douchebags?
Who are always like, oh well, women get paid less, but I have to get drafted, you know. And it's kind of like they only bring that up.
Oh, the logical thinkers.
Yeah, they bring that up in response
Just kidding,
to
bro.
like.
Just kidding.
They bring that up in response to like a real woman's issue. So when you read that, I was like, they're gonna have a field day, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who first of all are like that, just salty.
Yeah,
I think they wish they were born a woman.
Bro, what do you think? Have you seen those military edits on TikTok? It's really big right now. There's this one main edit that like it's this guy's perspective of joining the military, and it's like all the cool shit they do, and like it's got like 1 billion likes or whatever. And now everybody's like, not me wanting to join the military after that. And everybody in the comments is like, this is just like they're just trying to recruit you.
Psyop.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why people are so into the military.
Fucking
Like
psyop. Jill, how do you feel though if a bill were to pass where women had to be registered to join the draft? It'd probably be the same age range. Oh, actually, you're old. You passed the age range.
What were you gonna say? You're old.
Julie, I'm sorry.
I lived the good life.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just got excited.
I lived a good life. That's all I'm saying.
You have one foot out, in the grave, basically, bro. You don't have to worry.
How old are you turning this year? 28? 27?
Yeah,
You turned 28, actually?
Yeah, 28. She's 27, bro.
I remember when you turned 25. Ain't that wild?
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, because we did the podcast. That we were doing the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it when she cried?
Yeah.
No, I keep accidentally dissing you, but not in that way.
Stevie's always like this. He's always fucked up.
I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not trying to fucking diss. It's just coming off the wrong way. But but you're saying, would you low key like celebrate if women did get drafted and you?
I just feel like it's unfair to women to like get drafted when there's still like what is it? Inequality.
Unequal pay.
Like just everything in general, like with just women and the way women are treated in society. It's just like to kind of do this is just it's really dumb.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, it's. I know I wouldn't be in it, but I'm just like to everybody else who has to be in it. It's just like really fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it hasn't like it's still pretty far from coming into law, but they're already drafting bills that would have it.
And
so.
I mean, there's already a lot of things that happen within the military for women. Like,
yeah,
you always hear about it.
What's her name? The girl who the famous one that got murdered. She was a Latina.
Vanessa. Yeah.
Oh,
Vanessa
I got it on top. Vanessa. Let me see.
I think her name was Vanessa.
I don't know. I don't understand why people are so. How come white people love the military so much? Like genuinely, I'm not asking that in any kind of way.
Ask ChatGPT.
Vanessa Guyen. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Guyen. Oh, yeah, but it was her. Yeah, I remember the one that went viral, right? Yeah, and there's already a lot going on. Yeah.
You know, I learned about this old thing they used to do in Vietnam called fragging, where it was basically intentional friendly fire that some soldiers would do when they to kill like a commanding officer they didn't like or just some fool they didn't fuck with. And the guy was saying like a lot of those people who were there obviously didn't want to fight that war, so it was more like a survival game. So they would basically just throw a grenade. You play Call of Duty, they say frag out, you know. So they would just be like, "Oh my gosh, enemy grenade!" and then they throw it at their feet and blow them up.
Yeah, I mean, so how would you avoid the draft, guys? Would you, for women, you could get pregnant.
Well, in case the draft does happen, I what do you mean? I wouldn't.
Oh,
'Cause you get thrown in
I would
prison.
never do anything. Yeah,
I would never do
it's
anything.
a felony to try to avoid the draft. But in theory, if someone just for fun, right? Disclaimer, just for fun. If somebody wanted to avoid
Well, look
draft.
what excludes you from the draft. I think if you're a student, you can't go, and if you're like a service worker, you can't go. Like
Yeah.
if you're a fireman.
For women, it for sure would be pregnant. I think if you're the sole provider of your family, I remember that was one of them. So if you're like, let's say you're a dude
Mhm.
and you have a wife and kids, and they only live off you're providing for them, you don't get drafted either. Yeah, that's another thing that I remember, because this isn't the first time that a bill for women being part of the draft gets introduced into law. I remember there was a bill like that when I was in high school. And I remember we were looking into all the ways that you can avoid the draft, and that was one of them. But another way, and this goes into my next segment, another way you can avoid the draft is, did you know if you're Mexican American, wait, why did I write this way? If you're Mexican American, did you know Mexico is now letting you apply for dual citizenship as long as your parents were born in Mexico? Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
Yeah, even if you're a fucking no sabo kid in the States and you've never been to Mexico, you can acquire dual citizenship in Mexico. Even if you were born here, as long as your parents were born over there, you can apply for it. Yeah, it's this new thing. Mexico, according to Talla Politica. Yeah, you see, I had to add the accent in there. Has made amendments to Article 314 and 114 of the National Code of Civil and Family Procedures to let children born to Mexican parents apply for dual citizenship. This move by the Mexican Senate, which passed the proposal with 94 votes in favor, would eliminate the consular legalization or apostille requirement for documents verifying nationality and identity. The amendment to the articles would allow Mexican born abroad or returning migrants of Mexican nationality will be able to apply for dual citizenship by presenting the foreign birth certificate along with the birth certificate of the Mexican parents. It will be deemed enough to establish identity and Mexican nationality for registration in the civil registry. So yeah, I guess I saw a correlation between like the draft and the dual citizenship news, because if you got dual citizenship, you could always just go to Mexico and you'd be a citizen there.
Does that excuse you from the draft though?
I think you wouldn't ever be able to come back to the United States,
Oh.
but you would be excluded from the draft,
Oh.
and you would be a full citizen with full rights in Mexico. So this is encouraging everybody. Maybe you should think about getting your dual citizenship. If your parent, no, I mean, it's not even specifically about dodging the draft. I think that's an incredible law that Mexico is implementing. Like, I think regardless, if you've never been there, why not just try and get your citizenship? It's a beautiful country, and it's an opportunity to reconnect with your ancestral land. So I think it's a beautiful thing that passed. I just saw a correlation where I was like, also, if you're just scared, right? Not that I'm encouraging anyone, but just saying, if anybody was ever that scared, and you know your parents are from there, that's an option. That's
But what if the
an
war
option.
is with Mexico?
Yeah,
Then what do you do then?
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, I think so that's what people said too, though. But what if Canada's in war? It's like,
well, just get a citizenship everywhere.
just fucking live on, I don't know, at the sea.
Be strategic. Have kids in every country.
That's true.
Because I think
too.
that happens too, right? If you have a kid, then in some places you do get citizenship too.
Some places, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
Oh,
anything.
Julie doesn't work for national affairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
Excuse
cool.
yourself. Yeah,
Very
but that
cool.
was one of them. And then this is my next segment. Let me know if you guys are getting tired of my voice. Yeah, because I
Just
know I have a
kidding.
lot. I have two more segments. But have you heard about the influencer credit card?
No, I have not heard about this.
Well, maybe it's time that you quit your job. You got to quit your job, bro. Quit your job and become an influencer. On the House Network will literally give you $4,000 a week to spend, and all you have to do is upload stories of your purchases. This is a real thing. So it's basically a credit card where you get it upwards of $4,000 a week, and you can spend it on anything. And all you have to do in exchange is post up to 2 stories of what you're doing. So it's a mutual exchange. The businesses receive promotion based off how many followers you have, and you get to enjoy their services without having to pay out of your own pocket. Yeah, this is a real thing. There's a bunch. I saw an influencer girl. She showed it like on Instagram. I would show the video, but our audience won't get to see it. And if they don't get to see it, then we don't get to see it either. But it's a real thing. It's a credit card. It's called OTH Influencer. Anybody can sign up. You just go to their website and they approve you in 2 to 3 weeks based off your following count. If we wanted to do it, we could do it too.
There you go. I guess
cool.
that's what we're doing.
I guess that's how we make it.
You wouldn't want to. Are you more enticed to become an influencer now, Julie?
Yeah, I mean, if I can quit the jobs that I have, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, a lot of people take that as like a real path of career right now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like I don't know. I feel like sometimes I feel caught in a crossroads about being somebody who's overly present online. I know I'm always like, oh, I like my privacy, but I don't know. I think sometimes I genuinely have a philosophical debate in my own head about like the implications of it. And I don't mean like towards anybody else. I mean more towards myself, because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes things are supposed to kind of just only be for you and fade out in your memory. Because I think that's part of growth, right? I feel like if I said something on here, and I'm not talking about like cancel shit, just anything like that I just changed my mind about, or that I chose in a different path. Something about me feels like I'm kind of stuck and tethered to that in a weird way. Like, let's say I was on here and I was like, this is just an example. I was just like, oh, like, I love reading. Like, I'm a books guy. I'm going to become an author, or this, and that. But then, like, I do a 180 in life, and I don't really like that anymore. Something about me feels tethered to that in some way because it's always there. And I feel like part of the experience of life should be that I'm allowed to kind of grow out of that and let that kind of just fade and just kind of be my memory. But in a weird way, I feel like in some way I'm tethered to that because now other people have kind of seen it. And I know people are always like, oh, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But there's this old Native American tribe that they were against people taking pictures of them. And I think it's a really fascinating like belief because they thought that if you took their picture, a part of their soul like was taken with that picture. And I don't know, something about that resonates with me.
It connects to social media in that sense?
Not necessarily pictures, but I feel like when you're vulnerable and you share something about it feels very like, I feel like this is too intimate than like nature or whatever intended it to be.
Yeah. I kind of get what you're saying. Like, to me, I think sometimes when I upload stuff to the internet, it feels like I'm writing it in stone and I'm writing it in ink because it kind of lives forever. And I feel like humans are constantly changing. And even our, like, specifically because of our podcast, it's about our opinion and what we think about like what's going on in the world. I feel like it kind of gives off this illusion that that's always going to be our opinion. Like, because I could make a reel about like something that you and me feel passionate about. But 2 years from now, we could not share those same values. And I feel like having it on the internet kind of gives off the impression that we're always going to be those people. And I get what you mean. Like, that's how when you keep saying tethered, that's how I feel sometimes too. Where I feel like, especially because if you gain a following, like let's say you're an influencer, it feels as though you're obligated then to continue those values because that's what people liked about you.
But I also think even like on a spiritual level, like I was thinking about this like 2 days ago because my knees, like I think I have a problem with my knee. I think I just have to do more knee workouts. But my knee hurts, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I guess I'm aging. Like my knee's starting to hurt.
Damn, unk.
And I don't even mean like, oh, I'm super old, but like some people just their knee starts to hurt, and that's fine, you know. But I was also thinking like, oh, like remember in high school or like middle school when I thought that really dumb thing. Or like I believed that conspiracy. Like, thank God I never really put that on the internet because that would be so embarrassing. But in like a fun way, you know. Like, and I was like, I like that those memories are kind of fading. I don't know. I think there's parts of life that I think you're supposed to let fade and die, you know. But sometimes I feel like when I'm constantly on here, that isn't happening. Like it's not allowed. But I guess I more see it in like a spiritual way because I know a lot of people are going to take it at face value and be like, what do you mean just turn off the computer? I don't even mean it like that. I more mean like, I don't know. It's like I'm speaking it into existence, so it's always kind of going to be there and it's not going to ever fade. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you mean. Julie, what do you think?
So you don't want to be an influencer?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, because I also think about why do people share a lot of their stuff on the internet? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I feel like share what you want to share. But sometimes I'm like, do I need to share stuff in order to be validated? Like, is that why sometimes people say stuff? And I'm not critiquing anybody. I don't care, honestly. It was more just like an inward reflection. And I was like, well, I feel like my experience is real whether or not people have validated it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so then when I started thinking about that, I was like, then why do I have to tell people about it?
Yeah.
And I was just more thinking about it, like, just to kind of pick my own brain of like, well, is it fun for you? Like, do you want to do that? Is it fun for you? And I was like, well, I don't know. But that's what I think about a lot, you know? Because I'm like, well, my experience is real. I don't really need people to tell me that it's real for it to be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I think also it become addictive in a negative way. Like I think that it's true that the amount of likes that you get is directly correlated to this serotonin that's released in your brain. So I think that the more you post and the more you see the likes, or even if it doesn't have to be something crazy, it could be 3 likes of some close friends, but that serotonin boost can be addictive. And then when does it become? Then it becomes like, am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for the validation and the dopamine that I feel because other people think what I'm doing is cool?
Well, because do you guys ever think about, and this is a good thought, like, you know, do you guys ever think about, like, one day you guys are going to have kids who are eventually going to be our age, and they're going to be able to look at this podcast and be like, yo, look at my old man, like, look at him talking, or look at my mom, look at my pop, look at how they're talking, you know? And I know in that time when I show them, I'm good. It's gonna be like when you see old pictures of yourself in high school and or like in middle school, and you're like embarrassing, like, you know, like, chill, like,
what the fuck was I wearing?
Like, how cringe! Like, look at that haircut, bro. Like, what was I thinking? You know,
I still have my arm.
In a weird way, it's cool, but in another weird way, I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I wish that could be a memory and not a carving in stone. I don't know. That's what I think.
I think it's the masculine urge to leave it all behind.
The masculine urge to
leave it all behind and fade in.
Yeah,
literally.
I don't know. I think about that a lot. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that since everybody's kind of documenting themselves, that it kind of loses? There's so much that you kind of lose it, or I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like an oversaturation of the self. Do you mean that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what I mean. What do you think?
Kind of trying to.
What do you think I mean?
Don't you think it's like kind of a different time now because of the fact that we have technology? That like it's kind of like this is a little bit of a significant moment that we can finally kind of document things and kind of look back at them.
No, yeah, for sure. I don't really have a problem with it. I really don't. I think it's more like a spiritual question that I have for myself sometimes, of like, I wonder if certain parts of life are supposed to kind of just be forgotten, you know? And I sometimes wonder, like, am I robbing myself of the experience of life by not letting certain things fade in my own memory? Do you get what I mean?
I kind of get what you mean, but it reminds me of that quote that goes, you can't suddenly like exit your own life. Like life happens regardless of
like from Rango.
Yeah, like from Rango.
No man can walk out on his own story.
Yeah. So you could argue like, am I robbing myself of this of the life experience? But I think just you questioning that is the life experience.
That's true.
Everybody goes through that. Everybody wonders if what they're doing is the right decision.
That's true.
You know, and so I think that's what I think about. Me and Julie recently watched Rango.
I fucking love Rango, bro.
It was really good.
That shit was tripping me out.
It was crazy. We
It's
were on edibles.
It's I never noticed until I remember when I watched Chinatown in high school or college. I was like, is this the fucking movie Rango's referencing? Because they talk about like the water and shit and how they're diverting the water, and the turtles.
I didn't even make that connection.
The turtle's supposed to be John Huston.
I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, they're referencing Chinatown, so I was like, that's funny.
So it's fraud allegations, Rango?
No, I think Rango's just kind of like I don't know. It's weirdly experimental. I really fuck with it.
Is it a kid movie?
Me and my sister were arguing.
I think it's one of those kid movies that you take your kids to see, but they also talk to the adults too.
But they they kill animals.
I think it's like in
it's like kind of gory.
It's like in movies when like if they want to show gore, you show them killing an alien. So it's like, oh well, it's not red blood, it's purple blood. So it's not it doesn't knock off the sensors. You know what I mean? In a weird way, if you're smart about it, it can be more freeing than it is restricting.
There's a run over armadillo in the beginning, and
bro, you know the armadillo is the dude who plays Doc Ock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fucking
Alfred Molina.
I was gonna say his fucking name from Back to the Future, Dr. Emmett Brown. Really? It's him,
Wait, Doc Ock?
Emmett Brown. You said from the guy from Back to the Future, right?
No, from the guy who
Spider-Man.
plays Doc Ock.
Oh,
Did you
oh,
hear-
I'm
did you think I said
so,
Doc Brown?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm such a big fan of Back to the Future. I just I heard Doctor and I thought of Dr. Emmett Brown.
His full name too.
Bro, it was funny because me and Julie were watching Rango and Julie was tweaking. She was like, "This shit is too much." We were off edibles though.
I was also eating and I lost my appetite.
Yeah.
And I lost my appetite completely. I was like, bro,
Is it
I don't like this
Is it
movie.
because they're kind of ugly?
Yeah.
They are kind of ugly, but it, like animals do die and you see them.
No man could walk out on his.
They all die. Like every single time he meets somebody, they all
die.
die.
Well, that movie is a giant reference to like a million other movies. Like when he gets hit by the convertible, the real Johnny Depp is in that car
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Fear and Loathing in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
I saw that. Yeah.
So it's a bunch of movies kind of.
I don't know
hodgepodge together.
anything that you're talking about, bro.
Wow.
I don't think you were. I don't think you were there. I think you might have been heating up your food when that happened. I think that was like right when you were heating up your food. If I
No,
remember correctly.
I didn't heat up my food.
You don't
We got
tango with
Wingstop.
the Rango?
Oh, then never mind. But I remember. I feel like you weren't there when that happened. It was like a 2-second part. That's why it was only for like 2 seconds. But anyways, back to the social credit influencer stuff. Don't you guys think it's like a Black Mirror episode? Don't you guys think every day the world looks more like a Black Mirror episode?
Sounds like a scam.
It does sound like a scam.
Sounds too good to be true, which is often an indicator that it is.
Well, because it's like, where do they get the money?
Yeah.
It's revenue from advertising.
It sounds like one of those Instagram ads that's like, get paid for walking, you know? And you know?
It's like 10 cents.
Yeah.
Well, also because even the people who I guess sometimes promote it, they're also getting paid to like say that sometimes.
Yeah.
She
and, like,
said
scam people.
The influencer, shout out to, I actually wrote down her handle
You want
to
to
give her a
shout her
shout out.
out?
Her
bro?
dog tag.
She
You
said
wanna- you
she
wanna
said
give,
she-
You want to give her more money?
Oh my. She said she isn't affiliated with the company. She said that she's just trying it out, so she's telling people.
Oh.
So shout out to Alaya Wares. He said, "This is a credit card. No cash involved for creator business. It's a mutual exchange where the business provides their service and the creator promotes it via IG stories. Application doesn't ask for any banking details. Just your social media handles, following count. Depending on your following count, your allowance ranges from 1K to 4K per week. As an example, if you're a low-tier creator with a 1K allowance, a particular business may allow you services up to $250. If you're a higher tier, the amount may be $500. In this lower tier creator scenario, 2 Instagram stories to promote $250 service is completely reasonable for someone with lower
Right,
engagement."
if you're a you know who that sounds good for? Like if it's not too good to be true,
Yeah.
people who do food reviews and people who do like fashion stuff, because it's like
True.
like
have
because
to buy.
remember I won't out them. I mean not because it's a bad thing, but just because I don't know if they want it out there.
Yeah.
They were saying they were gonna try out a food review podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like it got too expensive to buy all the food. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
And then like if you're always like on fashion trends, you could be like, well, I'll just buy this new piece because the credit card's paying for it.
Yeah. That's actually pretty true. That's smart business. You're thinking like an entrepreneur, bro.
Mhm, mhm.
There you go. And next thing you're gonna
What-
see this guy with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Bro, did you see when he did that thing where he goes on stage and he starts doing the like it's like he starts dancing. He starts
Yeah.
doing, like the
I saw that it got like quoted with like, "I hate this dork so much." Yeah, she said to apply, go to othnetwork.io. So if you want to apply, if you're an influencer, apply.
go to.
I don't have any affiliation with them, but I applied, and within 2 to 3 weeks, I received approval. Hope
Get-
that helps.
Get paid to walk.
It's giving get paid to walk.
Get paid to
She
walk.
said also in her caption was, "It's giving Black Mirror, but all in the best ways." That's kind of scary.
Nah.
Maybe
She's affiliated, bro.
maybe you sell your soul, like. you have-
You think so? You think it's just a low key affiliation?
Bro,
Yeah.
Are they legally allowed
you know
to
what
say
I,
that?
you know what I want to see? This is
Whoa,
me.
Tell me,
This is
what
me.
are you trying to see?
This is me throwing out the challenge.
Okay, let me hear it.
I'm throwing out the challenge.
Let me hear it.
You know those people who do like they're very for debunking like supernatural stuff.
Okay.
And that one guy
Me?
he sent all the stuff to witches and told them to curse them and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody to go out and sell their soul and see if it works. I want
We
somebody
could do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh,
but somebody who's more fearless than I am.
Julie,
Somebody should go.
you're pretty. Would you say you're
Well,
fearless?
Well, in theory, but hear me out. Like in theory, it can that even work? Like, cause let's say somebody says like, "Oh, I'm gonna sell my soul for fame," and that video blows up. Could people be like, "Well, there you go, bro"? Like, you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, because you could argue like, oh, has anybody ever sold their soul? I mean, celebrities.
Yeah.
You could say a celebrity sold their soul. Drake.
Yeah.
Did they actually though?
In a way, they did. In a way, we all sell our souls.
All right.
To this capitalist
Oh
machine.
my god.
Oh my god.
Come on, guys.
Stevie, you're making me lose hope in this world.
What?
Yeah.
I literally
She
have.
says you're too pessimistic, bro.
What?
Not for real, you are. Nah.
What does that
I
mean?
am.
Pessimistic? Like
It means
negative.
you like always gotta pee.
Like a negative Nancy.
You always gotta be.
You're like a negative Nancy.
I'm literally smiling
Piss.
and laughing. I give you guys cool.
I know he's a smiling friend.
I am a smiling friend. I may seem a little off.
It's
but I'm
annoying
smiling.
sometimes though.
Damn.
It's
Maybe
annoying.
I shouldn't come
He's
back.
he's too positive.
He's too much, bro.
He's
too
too-
much energy.
It's too much.
You're too much, bro.
You're too much, bro.
All right then. Maybe I'll just produce the show.
You're
I'll be
hurt-
behind the scenes.
You're hurting his feelings, Julie.
I'll be behind the scenes.
I'm just joking.
Oh nah.
He,
That's
he was being fucked up
that
earlier.
was like the. I was not. I told you.
You called me old.
I
and
told
then,
you it was an
and then-
accident.
And then what did he
I
say?
feel like that wolf that's like crying with the
I
wolves.
told you it was an accident.
And
I
then
didn't
what
mean
else
for
did
it
he
to come
do?
out this way.
You called
He's-
me
no,
old. and,
The old one was a little funny where he's like, "Oh, cause you're old," cause he didn't want to say it.
I didn't mean to.
there was another one. What was the other one?
There was
It
another
was
one.
nothing.
No,
It
there
was
was another
nothing.
one.
There
Was
was
it?
another
It was
one.
nothing. I'm always nice.
What was it?
Yeah,
was the other
nothing.
one?
You can't even think of it.
I'll look back in the when I.
It was probably something about like him saying that I'm dumb or something.
What?
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. You guys, it's episode 76. You guys know me by now.
I didn't-
Am I an asshole?
Oh, he's-
Am I
He
a
is,
negative?
huh?
No, I'm talking to the audience. Because clearly,
I guess she said.
These
Julie's
other two
saying you're a
people are-
wolf in sheep's clothing, bro. You're like
Really?
that picture of the wolf that's in the sheephood. I love those pictures, bro.
is
That's-
that me? Am
Yeah.
I deep down an asshole?
She's
I
saying.
don't think there is a deep
She's
down.
saying you're so positive it's toxic. Is that
Is
real?
that possible?
Probably.
Google it. Google it. Is
It's probably-
toxic? Is toxic
Is-
positivity?
No,
possible?
I mean, as somebody who is positive, I could see it being toxic. I could see like
He is toxic.
shit like that's going on in the world. People could be like, "Come on, guys, let's just smile." Like,
Yeah.
well, sometimes you should give a shit.
toxic
Is
positivity.
toxic positivity real?
The signs.
It's literally the first thing.
Look up signs you're a toxic positive person, and we'll see if Steve fits that criteria.
It's looking like
It's
it
not.
is real.
Oh, look
Okay,
up.
but look up the.
Look up signs. Signs you're a toxic positive.
Because people say toxic positivity can sometimes be a form of gaslighting. Of like, it's not that serious, or like,
Oh.
or like signs of toxic positivity,
Right.
experiencing guilt for being sad or angry. I do feel like that sometimes.
No.
What
I think it.
signs of toxic
I
positivity?
think that's for somebody who is on the receiving end of a toxic positive person. So it's
Oh.
like, Julie, do you feel this way?
Yeah.
Read it out.
Okay,
Read it out,
okay.
read it out.
Experiencing guilt for being sad or angry, dismissing others' difficult feelings, hiding painful emotions, ignoring your problems, and I gave an example of like bills, rent due.
Yeah,
Oh.
he always hates on when I'm being sad or negative. I'm like, bro, come on, let me be sad a little
I guess
bit.
I'm a toxic positive person, guys.
Change, bro.
It says resigning change.
Don't be sorry, bro. Be better.
Wait, did I say sorry?
What?
I didn't even say sorry. You're like, don't say sorry, be better. It says reciting positive quotes about hard situations.
Didn't he just
stay
do that
positive.
earlier?
He just quoted something.
There's-
Something about a square.
Square? Did you actually?
I guess
Or a
I'm,
box?
I guess
Was it
I
a box?
really am the
Oh,
problem.
he quoted Rangos?
I guess I really am the
I
problem,
don't
guys.
think that counts. Well, anyways, what was your last segment?
No, I don't want to talk anymore.
No, he doesn't want. Look what you did.
I might
Julie.
leave.
Do it so we can
mid-podcast.
end the episode.
Damn, you're fucked up.
Come
It's like, do
on.
it so I can stop talking to you.
Come
That's
on,
basically
guys.
what you
Let's
said. She
not-
started it. I was literally
No,
live,
I
love, laugh.
didn't.
And she was like, "You're too much sometimes." She was like,
Come on,
"You just
guys.
smile too much. It's annoying."
How would your mom feel if she saw you guys fighting? Like
She'd
this?
cry.
There you go.
My mom is a crier.
There you go. So stop fighting.
Okay.
But I need to tell him his truths, you know?
It's true, even though it hurts. I appreciate you, Julie.
Stop.
He really
But
called me old.
if signs of toxic, it was an accident. It was literally
And you
an
call me
accident.
something else. Play it back. Play it back right now.
Bro, yeah, edit this in and see what I said. I bet you wasn't anything. Right now, right
All
there.
right.
What was
All right, hold on. I bet it wasn't anything. And then it's, I don't know.
Okay,
We'll see how it
and then just cut into my next
works.
segment.
Yeah.
Anyways, my last topic is the LA Times article going viral right now about weed. Have you heard about this, Brandon?
Yerba mala?
Yerba mala.
That's Spanish for weed, no? Yerba mala?
La mota?
La mota. Yeah.
marijuana?
Marijuana.
Okay, continue.
Anyways, yeah. So somebody commented this, and I thought this is the perfect way to open this segment. You can poison our food, you can poison our water, but our carts might be too far.
Yeah.
Someone commented that, and I was like, "That's the perfect way to open this." You can poison. So yeah, there's an LA Times article going viral right now. For those of you listening, if you haven't heard, it's called "The Dirty Secret of California's Legal Weed." So a joint investigation found high levels of pesticides in weed products. So I have the list right here. You guys have probably seen it all over.
I actually haven't.
Why the hell you haven't seen
And
it,
I'm not
bro?
playing dumb for the podcast or the real.
You're just playing dumb because you are dumb.
All right.
Damn,
Now
you see?
he dropped the positivity.
You
now he's just
see?
being.
Because you guys made me negative.
What did I do?
Now I'm gonna be a hater to this whole rest of this podcast.
What did I do?
I'm gonna be a fucking hater.
You guys do this a lot? You guys have beef
What?
with each other, and you guys take it out on me. Like
That's not true.
yeah, Julie will be like, "You guys are."
That's
both
not
being-
true.
you
That's
guys-
not true.
Julie will be like, "You guys are both being so mean," and then it was something you said, and I'm like, "You guys, like, what did I do?"
This is not true. This
And
is the
then-
first time I'm taking it out on you.
And then he'll get butthurt about something Julie said, and he'll be like, "No, it's because you guys." And I'm like, what did I do?"
This is not true. This is the first time I'm
you
doing
guys
this.
you guys come as a pair.
Oh, brother.
You're saying we look alike? That's
no,
crazy,
like
Julie.
you guys are in the same thing, so that's why I
In the
put you
same
on
thing,
in the
Wait,
same category.
I guess.
What does that mean in the same?
Y'all
Okay.
are men.
Oh, I guess. Okay.
I mean, we both are men. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know
So I guess it's not a bad category.
Yeah.
Men do rule the world.
Wow,
Okay,
that's
so you're
not
saying
bad.
about weed.
I told you I'm gonna be a hater the rest of this podcast. I warned you.
All right, so you're
You
saying
brought
about,
this. Yeah,
so you're
okay. So these are some of the weed companies that tested for pesticides. Backpack Boys tested a lot.
saying- Damn.
Then my unfortunate,
Your fave?
my sweet darling Stizzy tested for fucking high pesticides, which is kind of crazy. Damn, Backpack Boys is a lot.
Let me see. Can I see?
There's at least, yeah. These are all the things. This is blue guava gelato, lemon cherry gelato,
Jesus.
and then it just goes over all the products that they literally had. There's literally pages upon pages, and then the next one that they tested was Circles, which tested positive for these. It's crazy. They literally have all the
So
chemicals.
basically, they've been selling you guys poison.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I saw a TikTok. Well, cause I'm confused on the article, so it's like every single one, because they would only like show like like specific strands. I only saw one from
I think
Sizzy.
they probably randomly
Yeah.
pulled samples.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
only
like,
I only saw one that was on the list
Yeah.
for like Stizzy.
Yeah.
And somebody was going into it that basically the pesticides or whatever is in the cart or whatever, it gives you brain damage basically.
It gives you you could have liver failure, liver cancer, nausea, what is it? Headaches. And it's basically anything.
Basically stuff you don't want.
Basically
Yeah.
poison. It's
Basically.
basically poison. That's their Circles is on here. Cloud is on here. Yeah, I've never heard of Crew. I have heard of Crew. The homie Izzy loves Crew. Crew also tested high for pesticides. Cruisers, Delighted, Dime, Everyday, Flavor Aid. Let me see.
That's crazy.
Fog City, Gold Drop, Grizzly Peaks Farm. What? That's actually crazy to me. I know Grizzly Peak Farms. Oh look, heavy hitters and Jeters passed though. They didn't have any pesticides.
Oh, very cool.
That's very cool.
I thought there was a whole thing with Jeters though.
Jeters just false advertisement.
Yeah.
They have less THC than they
It's not gonna
advertise.
kill you. Well, I mean,
It's actually
it'll just take longer to kill you.
it has less THC. Oh, so it has less, but no pesticides, and that seems like Kingpin has some. That's crazy. That's the OG. That's the
That
shit you
is
smoke
OG.
from fucking like high school. That's the OG Kingpin has fucking pesticides, bro. Julie, what do we do?
What I thought was crazy too was that somebody talked about like imagine that this is happening in like California where it's like
It's
legal. Imagine how it is for those that it's not and
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
nothing there's they just get it wherever.
Yeah.
And then I was hearing about recently that there's a lot more like kids in high school that are doing it now. Like I heard that when they had like grad nights that they all just reeked of weed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just smoking in general is back because I live near a high school, dude. Like, I swear, like, because I have a fence, you've seen it. It's just puffs of smoke for every person that walks by, and it's always those boxes. I think people just smoke a lot.
Bro, people
I-
do smoke a lot. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I
Julie.
just think it's crazy because it's like, because even then, like you're hearing this about like the different companies, right? And it's like some of them aren't even like 21, so these people are buying it from like who knows where to like be able to get
Yeah.
it, you know? And that's like even more damaging to their bodies because it's like, who the fuck knows what's in them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy because Gen Z, we had it. So, like smoking cigarettes was at an all-time low, and then they introduced vapes. Now everywhere you go,
and
everybody has a
and
vape.
Jules are coming back now. They got unbanned.
Oh yeah. Did you hear they're supposedly gonna ban Zyn? Do you know what Zyn
Really?
is?
Yeah, it's the packs, right?
Yeah. They're thinking of banning Zyn.
I seen they're like really bad for your teeth. Have you seen
Yeah.
people?
It's like chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
I just can't believe we're losing the war. We were doing so good.
You would. We should just put our. I feel like nobody's gonna ever stop smoking or doing substances. We should just put all our science into making it healthy.
That's actually a really good point.
Because I feel like, if everybody's gonna smoke, I mean, it's like with when they try to combat like people doing certain drugs. They're like, well, just give them clean needles because we're not gonna win
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Or like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why do you think that there's like a trend now of that, of
do you
like
mean?
people like smoking and stuff? Like why do you think there's a lot more people starting to smoke now?
I think it's
'Cause-
more accessible.
Well, what do you mean, like the like that, like because it's accessible, or do you mean like the individual person? Like, what do you think they want to smoke?
Yeah.
Life is hard and it sucks sometimes. Sometimes you just want to unwind and shit. And I saw drinking's at an all-time low. Like nobody really drinks anymore. So I think people need their vices and like to enjoy their things, you know. And that's why, yeah.
My theory is I think that just the accessibility makes it so desirable that you can't help but join in the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when I saw this that they were gonna ban Zyn, and that juuling is coming back. There was a comment that I thought was actually more profound than it came off as when it was commented. It was somebody that said that as being part of the military, we all basically like smoke and like take Zyn, and especially in what seems to be the U.S. afraid of an impending war.
Yeah.
To take that away, you're taking away like our way of purging, of like being relaxed. And so I think it's accessible because of a few things. One, cigarettes, you need a lighter, you need a place to smoke, and there's a lot of smoke. Vaping, you could hit it anytime. You don't need a lighter. You could have it in your pocket. You could hit it inside your house and
Yeah.
hide it. That's how
Yeah.
accessible it is. You could take it to the movie theaters. You could, and since it's not electric, at least some of them are electric. You could hide it in places. Like it's just that much more accessible that I think it becomes so desirable.
Yeah.
Like especially if there's the ones with the flavors. Like there's no like it beats cigarettes like in every single category. It's basically the evolution of that. It's everything
Yeah.
like you said. Like we should invest in making them safer, but instead it's as if the technology invented to just make them more like I don't know, like better. It's like a cigarette evolved.
I think, I don't know. I think it's because everybody's trying to, I don't know. I think we should just invest in making all these things as safe as possible. Like I know they're harmful, but to me, I'm more like, I don't think people are gonna stop, and I think
Yeah.
they don't want to. You know, I think people genuinely want their vices. You know, I think it's something people needs. Obviously, don't do too much. You know, like
Yeah.
don't. But I really think it's kind of pointless to kind of try and just get rid of it forever. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what happened with like alcohol, where when they got rid of it and
the
people-
prohibition, and
yeah.
then it just made it worse.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, because I think you can't assume humans are fucking imperfect. Like,
It's
I
like-
mean, I'm perfect.
It's
Go
like the people when we were watching the Dare
yeah,
people,
Dare
and
convention?
they put those in like schools, and it actually like kids started doing more drugs because of
Yeah.
those what do you call them? Those
Advertisements.
those organizations.
Programs.
no, I
Yeah,
I
programs.
honestly think that it might not be the accessibility. I genuinely think people, as cornball as it sounds, people don't like being told no, and I think in some way it makes it more like this mystique
makes
thing.
it cooler.
Yeah, like it's like,
Mhm.
oh, like that guy smokes, he's probably fucking cool. Like imagine being that's like that Ken mentality. I
Well,
think he's cool.
I remember
You know?
some people were like especially like in anime when somebody's smoking, they're like it looks cool. They
It
make
does
it
look
they make it
cool.
look cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
when we were watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like the old one, like they're all smoking, or Rosemary's Baby, she's pregnant and she even smokes.
Oh, yeah.
And she looks cool doing it. Not
Yeah.
that you should do that, but she looks cool.
Yeah, well, I was gonna bring up what Julie brought up. So for context, me and Julie were watching a documentary on Dare, and one of the things that people who oppose Dare brought up, which I thought was really interesting, was that instead of trying to shame kids and trying to tell them that smoking somehow isn't cool, because like honestly, it kind of does look cool.
Yeah.
Is to just educate them and then try and make like the accessibility for it more safer. Because I kind of agree with what you said. I think if all drugs were made legal, then think about all the things that it would prevent. It would prevent drug crime, first of all,
Yeah.
which prevent like an overpopulation in the jail system. But it would also make it federally legal to where people could experiment and could, as funny as it sounds, make alternative safe ways of doing stuff like heroin. Doing stuff like
Do you think
like
so?
meth. Genuinely, yeah, I totally think so.
Do you guys really think marijuana though is a gateway drug?
No, I don't think so. But I'll go ahead, Brandon. You go because I'm yapping.
I don't know. I think I don't think it's like it's like how they say it, where it's like if you do it, you will then therefore do another thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more like the thing is like, well, I mean, I've done weed, like, and that wasn't that bad. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like shrooms wouldn't be that bad.
I always
Like,
thought
and then you know what I mean?
For real.
I always thought it was more like because people do like marijuana so much that they don't feel the high anymore.
Yeah.
So they go to like the next thing that makes them feel high, and that's like the hardcore hardcore
Yeah.
drugs. I'm not saying
Mhm.
like shrooms, just like
Yeah.
other drugs, and people are like, oh, like this actually makes me feel.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But that's that.
But I think that's when it becomes very excessive, like
No,
when
yeah.
somebody is like very,
doesn't that
very
mean-
like into it.
doesn't that mean that's literally like what a gateway drug means? Is
But
that
I feel
you-
like some people don't intentionally do marijuana to then like want to do harder
I
drugs.
just-
But I
just-
think
you
that's
know?
still
I
qualifies.
just
no?
think there's no. But I feel like if you say that, you could probably just even also say that about alcohol. No,
Yeah.
like all my friends just drink, but there's this one dude that smokes. I mean, it's not that bad.
Mhm.
Like he says it's better than drinking, so I might as well do that. No,
Yeah.
I feel like you could say that about a lot of things. Like it's a gateway.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like if you can say marijuana is a gateway drug, can't you say alcohol is also a gateway?
Yeah.
So
for
that's
sure.
why I'm like, I don't really get why people kind of hold it at this colossal standard. I feel like when
Mhm.
you do that, it's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been saying there's something up with the marijuana people.
You
Like-
you have been saying that.
I'm
yeah.
telling you, they're gonna. The next thing is whoever is in charge of big weed, they're gonna find a chemical that has identical effects to THC, but is way cheaper to mass produce, and they're not gonna tell anybody that it's that until some kid, I don't know, his brain like explodes,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh shit, everybody's been smoking that.
Bro, I'm surprised you're not going like I told you so.
I did tell you so. I told everybody, and they called me a madman.
Well, because I'm just like, I think I just keep thinking of how this is going to affect in the long run, especially with, because I do feel that there's a lot of kids who are smoking.
Yeah.
And like, again, like how we said, like even smoking at a really young age, like before 25 is really bad to your brain. And to learn that there's pesticides already in these things and like And like, what was it? King something? I remember that shit when you used to, like, that was like one of the first few brands that I used to buy. And it's just like, I've heard people that like, I guess also like sell these type of cards to kids because it's like they make their money through that, you know? And it's just like to then find out that there's actually like brain damaging chemicals and stuff. It's just like, I wonder how that's going to affect in like the long run for kids that are consistently doing it. Because a lot of kids do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No bullshit. No bullshit. Keeping it real. A lot of kids do it.
But I think they got to change their tactic about it. I feel like you can't. I feel like no matter what you do, people are going to do it if they want to do it. So just try to make it safer. Regulate it more or whatever, you know?
Yeah. This doesn't mean to quit. It just means to be more aware.
Yeah.
Because you can't just assume someone's perfect. There's no shame in having your vices.
It's also like, come on, man. Like, what do you think? You shouldn't really be putting shit into your lungs that isn't air, you know? Like, it's a plastic metal coil, you know? It's metals and plastic.
Yeah, there's an inherent risk.
Like, there's inherent risk. Like, don't go in there thinking like, bruh, it's everything.
What? It's bad for me?
Yeah, you know, everything has consequences, you know? Like, I don't know. I think just people struggle with balance. The world struggles with balance.
Yeah, but Stizzy, bro, everyone listening, it's not looking good. I think I might generally throw away my Stizzy.
I wonder.
No bullshit.
I wonder what like how much this has really affected them.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I was not gonna talk about it, but I remember I got an ad for Stizzy on Twitter, and I remember I looked at the comments, and it was like people just like saying like, so y'all not gonna say anything about the article or anything, and then I went on their Instagram, and literally their entire past few posts were just about people saying like, are you guys gonna say something about the LA Times article, like all the pesticides? And people were pointing out that they haven't posted any stories, they haven't posted anything ever since that article came out. So people were like, that's crazy that you guys really went silent, like it directly correlated.
Well, didn't this also happen with tobacco? Wasn't tobacco like not that tobacco was ever good for you, but didn't they also have like a big deal with that too, where there was a bunch of pesticides in their shit, but they were always like, nah, like that's not real.
Yeah,
I just think all big companies are the same. You know
is he just waiting now until this dies out?
Probably.
Yeah,
people are still gonna smoke it, dog. Like,
and don't smoke it, guys. Seriously, fuck, man, fight back.
I need to throw away my batteries.
Grow your own shit if you really want to.
It doesn't even have to. You grow your own shit. I mean, people say like just smoke joints because these are all carts.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's other brands here that did pass, like Raw Garden, or another one called Sea Junkie. If you want to, like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with smoking, but you should support brands that don't poison people.
Yeah.
Like keep doing your
research.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing if you really like it. Nobody's saying to stop, but it's important to be aware and hold these brands accountable. You can't just let people. They're basically just poisoning people. That's insane.
Well, I really don't think anything's gonna happen, honestly. Because
something should happen.
I know, but
someone needs to rise up.
I generally feel like nothing's really gonna happen because people are just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna die either way. So like,
well, it starts at the individual, and I'm gonna fucking throw away my Stizzy.
Bro, you know what's funny? Side note, my dad likes to smoke cigars, and I bought him a couple for Father's Day. And I'm assuming it's like a tobacco shop, and I'm assuming they have to put those posters up that are like, oh, just so you know, like tobacco is really bad for you. You know how they have to do that.
Yeah, this causes cancer.
They had it up there, but they covered it up kind of with like a bunch of like sale signs, so you can like read it technically, but you have to really look. I don't know. I thought that shit was really funny. They were basically like, yeah.
Still gonna have some shit like that. Like we have pesticides, but it's gonna like.
Well, because don't a bunch of fast food places do that? Where it's like there's chemicals that we use that have been known to
cause cancer. Here in California,
and people be like, myself included, you know.
That's crazy, bro. But yeah, that's the end of my segment. Man, fuck this. I'm gonna end it with. Oh wait, that one was cute. I'm gonna end it with reading that quote again because that shit was a banger. You can poison our food. You can poison our water. But our carts might be too far.
Yeah. Very cool.
That was too far.
I didn't know I was going to do that.
You sound like Vader. Darth Vader. But Julie, what did you bring for this week?
We're still going?
I know. His whole segment was the whole podcast.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm not coming back next week.
Okay. Julie, what do you got?
Should I just do one thing or two?
Whatever you want. I
Whatever
thought they
you
were.
want, yeah,
I
bro.
thought they were both interesting.
I mean, I guess I'll start with the Asian Latinos are growing, but are an ignored demographic.
Preach.
What'd you say? Reach?
I said
Preach.
Oh, preach.
He said, finally, somebody said something.
Finally. Yeah.
So in the 2000s, it was 350,000 people.
Yeah.
As of 2022, it's been 886,000. So it's
Hell
doubled.
yeah.
So it's doubled in the
Hell
last 20
yeah.
years.
Hell
Shout out
yeah.
to my Asian Latinos out there.
Your AAPI Latinos.
Is that
Y'all
what
are
it's-
always
oh.
represented on this podcast thanks to your boy over here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, there's a lot of people who are starting to come out and be like, I want representation, and they're like the lowest representation.
It's right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Follow me. My
Follow
account is
me.
now public, guys.
Yeah, Brandon has a new account. Follow
Yeah,
him.
specifically for this. No.
For Asian Mexican
I did see that though.
representation.
I did see that though.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah.
That's cool though. That's seriously dope.
Yeah, a third of Asian Latino Americans reside in California, and
Yeah.
then the next highest are in Texas and Hawaii.
Oh, really? I
Mhm.
guess that makes sense.
Sheesh. That's what I'm talking about. We come in all shapes and sizes and all different shades.
Talking about we.
Oh.
Nah, talking about
Damn,
me.
Stevie,
I mean-
don't include yourself.
I meant like Latinos.
he meant the
damn.
Latino side.
Kidding.
Because I meant like, so we're not together?
Nah,
So
I'm just fucking around.
we don't stand together?
I don't know. So, yeah, that's really
So
cool.
it says
That is cool.
so a little bit more. So so data analysis found where AAPI Latinos placed higher than Latinos overall, but lower all Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in educational, attain, and home ownership.
Stop playing with us.
30% of AAPI Latinos have a bachelor's degree or higher, in comparison to 55% of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, and 19% of Latinos are at the same level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hell
Stop-
yeah.
Stop playing with us, bro.
Fuck yeah.
I'm dead.
Stop playing.
This is exactly what I needed to hear, bro.
But yeah, bro, they're growing.
Good news.
They're out here.
I will rise.
I always
up,
felt like our cultures were similar.
rise
Now
like the
we
sun.
are
Our
the same.
I will rise up.
Shout out to the Asian Latinos out there. What's up? What's up?
Hey.
You're seen on this podcast.
You
You
are
are
seen.
seen.
Because I'm right
You
here.
are seen.
You are seen and you are loved.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Sending love
Yeah.
to y'all, bro.
Yep, I'm right here.
Wow.
So
And
there's 800,000.
Brother, how does it feel? Genuinely.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
What does what feel?
That
like
you're
what?
that you're starting to get
Yeah.
representation.
Your demographic is going
Uh,
up.
I think it's cool. I I would like to hear. I would like to have a conversation with them.
You'd like to meet them?
Because I
Yeah.
remember you always told me specifically about like how at family events it'd be like tables with a bunch of Chinese.
Well, no. I mean, like the only time I ever really noticed was my sister's quinceañera, because that was when like I was like, oh, well, finally. But I don't know. It's interesting. I think.
Was that funny though?
What was what funny?
Like the quinceañera, seeing the mixed cultures.
A little bit. But I don't know. I would really like to hear from them. I would like to hear what
Are
my
you
people are
out
saying.
there? Like as if like
Yeah.
Are you out
for
there?
those out there,
Well,
like you're like an
For
X-Men
those who
mutant
are,
coming
reach out to Brandon.
Well, it's because I think mixed kids are gonna be like, there's gonna be a lot more mixed kids, because I'm sure it's more than just Latino Asians. There's probably
Yeah.
more other demographics
yeah.
that need to be heard. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of mixed kid drama in the world.
Mm.
You know.
Like as in what?
Well,
Like Drake?
for one, I think mixed kids have their own issues, and I think they deserve to be talked about and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a lot of stuff where they aren't. There's just a lot of issues with it. Like, you know?
I get you. They're
You
kind
know?
of like undermined,
They're-
and it's almost like normalized to kind of like not see them as part of like either culture, because
Yeah.
there's this like idea of like you're not fully
Yeah.
Mexican, or you're not fully Filipino or Chinese.
But I also think there's also issues of like like it's gonna sound funny, but I think logic was detrimental to
to the mixed kids,
to biracial kids, because I think sometimes I don't know how to explain it. I think the mixed kids have their own issues, and that's cool, you know. But I think sometimes I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I don't know. We have to acknowledge that the issues are different, but they still exist. You get what I mean? I don't know.
Like you guys walk a fine line.
Cause I don't know. This isn't really my area. That's why. Like I'm not that kind of mixed kid. I think a lot of the mixed kid stuff we normally hear is just white and then person of color, you know? And I think that's kind of,
and you're person of color.
Yeah. And I think what kind of the issue is with that is I think, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people apply the white person of color mixed kid issues to the person of color issues, which I think are kind of different. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
That's deep though, because I don't think I've ever really thought of that.
That's why I'm like, I would like to have a conversation with them, because it's like I don't really have anybody to like bounce off my ideas or like what like, because like when you guys talk about Latino issues, I understand what you're talking about to a degree, but I also have to acknowledge I don't ever fully understand it because I'm not fully Latino, and that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes where I see Asian issues brought up or Asian culture things brought up, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like, you know, there's areas of that I agree. But again, it's the same thing where I'm like, I can't fully like, you know, do that. And again, that's fine. But I think that noticing that on its own of like, oh, I can't really relate. There's nowhere really is an issue on its own. So I think it's good to hear like, oh, there's there's more of us out there, you know, because then I can be like, oh, like, how do you feel about that? What do you think about that? Because I think discourse is important and all that kind of stuff.
And they also said that the current Latino, Asian, or Pacific Islander population skews pretty young. So nearly half are age 18 or younger.
Oh, wow. So that's really new.
It's a new thing,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm only 23, so.
You're gonna be the elder.
I'm the unk of the community.
Y'all don't know. Y'all didn't grow up in my era. You guys have each other. I didn't have anybody. I was alone.
I guess I'm trying to understand what you're saying about like the I guess the biracial kids who are like white and some sort of like POC.
Well, I think the thing that I don't know. I guess to me it's hard to like explain because it's like I have a different perspective from you, right? So I think for me, there's times when I feel like I see like Logic, right? Where he's very like, oh, like I can totally relate to all black issues. You know, and I'm like, nobody's trying to erase your blackness. Like if you really, like if that's part of your culture, that's fine. But I also think you have to acknowledge that your issues are different from someone who is fully black. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. And I think sometimes people hear that and they think that, nah, you're just trying to erase my blackness or whatever it is. Like, let's say it's somebody who's white and Mexican where you say, like, oh, they just call me Whitina. And I'm like, your issues are real. Like, I'm not saying like you don't count. Like, I understand what that feels like to be told like, no, you don't count. You're not full. But you also have to acknowledge that your problems are slightly skewed a little bit, you know? Yeah. Like, I know we go back and forth about it. Like, I can relate to some of the stuff you talk about. But my skin color is different, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that I'm suddenly lose my Chicano card, right? Yeah. But I have to sit here and acknowledge. I should acknowledge that it's a different issue, but that doesn't erase either of the problems. Do you get what I mean? Like that. That's what I kind of imply. And I think my issue is because that kind of obviously ruffles a lot of feathers. Like when somebody who's very white presenting kind of, I don't know, because like I feel like sometimes when you're super white presenting, I feel like you have the privilege of turning it on and off, like, and it's not a costume, you know. It's not something that you can put on and off, you know. Do you get what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly.
Like you're kind of like, the way I see it in my head, it's like you're kind of like two characters. Yeah. And there's one character that always gets like hated on and like a lot of heat. But then there's this weird way where you can turn into this other character and just pretend that character doesn't exist.
Weirdly, Blood In, Blood Out brings it up, right? Because they have Miklo, who's half white, half Mexican. And I think it's like, I don't know. it's just I think the fact that I'm struggling to talk about it is the issue at hand.
Yeah.
Like there's not really a lot of discourse about it.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people who, and you know, that's fine, who are fully person of color give their response.
Yeah.
And then people who are fully white give their response.
Mhm.
But because being mixed is kind of not as popular, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't really hear a lot of their discourse. That's why I'm like, I would like to sit and pick
Yeah.
someone's brain or hear what they have to say.
I always do hear from them that it is very much like a constant kind of like conflict of like neither group usually accepts you because
Yeah.
it's like you're not fully this and you're not fully that. Even in the article, it talks about like even the difference of like the Asian, right? There's some
Yeah.
who are half Mexican and half Korean. There's some that are half Mexican and Filipino, or like Salvadorian and Filipino. Like there's like different things, and even then like they feel like there's always kind of like this, there's no acceptance within them because it's like,
I don't know if it's like a issue, but I sometimes feel like fraudulent.
Mhm.
I sometimes feel like it, but it's more like sometimes I'm like, even on here, right, when like we're talking about Chicano or Latino issues, again, like I know what you guys are talking about. And like I even shared a story about like experiencing like getting, you know, profiled, right? But it's still not the same. Like, and that's again fine. Like that's
Mhm.
fine. But I'm like, but I don't really feel like I count, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, you know?
I get what you mean.
And then there's also a part of me that's like, I would like to know a lot about, you know, the Asian side, but I don't really get to.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you know? I mean, I just don't, I'm not really around that demographic as much, you know? So that's why I'm like, I would like to hear what the others have to say.
Yeah, I would like to hear a conversation between you guys. I think it would be really interesting. But it's still cool. I mean, at least more and more.
And I feel like it is gonna happen more within a lot,
And
because
a
I
lot-
feel like a
and-
lot of people are, you know,
And a lot of mixes too.
yeah.
But I'm curious what happens with our kids, like with the people who are mixed.
Mhm.
Like how do we handle culture then? Because I'm sure it's either going to create new culture. It's probably going to create new culture, right? And I'm very curious to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see that too. Because I've always. I mean, we have a Pacific Islander friend in Chad, and we had a viral clip about how the similarities between Filipino and Mexican culture, and obviously there's so much more Asian culture than just that.
and so much more Latino culture too.
And so like, but just even that in itself, that connection, even it was so beautiful, and that friendship that I still have with him is so beautiful. So I think I'm more than excited because I feel like I said, I think there's some kind of like cultural ground that we kind of meet at, and for some reason it creates such a beautiful experience. And I feel like those kids and like their descendants are going to create a beautiful community, whatever that is, whatever that culture ends up being. I think it's going to be beautiful, and I'm excited to at least maybe just view, because I don't know if I'll be accepted, which is totally fine. I understand.
Yeah. Well, because I also think about it, because I'm like, I guess being in a, what is it, interracial like thing, I always think about, I guess, my future kids, of like, because I'm so in my like Mexican, like I'm Mexican, and I don't want my kids
identity
to like lose that culture or that, and like I want them to be, you know, very influenced in our culture, because I'm like, that's how I am. But I mean, my boyfriend isn't, like he's white, and like I always think about how that's the dynamic is gonna be for them, like growing up, because I feel like even now we kind of see the whole of like white passing and all those things, right? And I wonder how I'm gonna have to be able to handle that for them.
Well, I think
Show them blood and blood out.
Well, I don't know.
Miklo is you kids.
I think for me the issue was, I don't know. I really don't think the cultures are super accepting of it.
Yeah.
Like there's all, I mean, we talk about it on here, like how unaccepting they are to if you don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, imagine what it's like to not be like actually full blood. You know, it's like times 10. You know, and that's why I'm like, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because nobody really goes out of their way to be like, yeah, you're part of it. Because it's just not part. It's not. That's not the culture. It's not very welcoming. And you know, that is what it is. But I think a lot of cultures are like that.
Yeah,
too.
that's why I think it ties to what I was saying is like I'm excited to see what culture and community is created, because I don't think that it's gonna be just people assimilating into either Latino culture or Asian culture. I think just
It's
like
just
Chicanoism, like how Chicanoism was because you weren't accepted by the Americans and you weren't accepted by Mexicans. You just created your own term
Yeah.
and your own culture. I think it's gonna be the same thing. I can see that community creating its own term of what they are and creating their own identity. And it's a funny thing to point out, but I think the clothing is gonna go hard.
Yeah.
I just feel like Asian and Latino
Well, it's
mixed clothing. Oh my god.
Well, a little bit that I've already heard of, like, you know, Mexican and Filipino is Mexipino.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's
they're
good.
kind of
That's a-
already
that's a- that's
they're
a
kind of
bar.
already starting their own
Yeah.
like thing. I don't know what it is for the other ones, but
Well,
at
I
least
don't
for
know.
that.
I guess I don't know. I'm just very curious. I would really love to talk to somebody who is, you know, who
Mhm.
is mixed in that way, because I wonder if the feelings are mutual. Or I mean, I'm sure there are, and I'm sure maybe environments are different. But I think the thing that I feel a lot about or weird about is, like, let's say if I wanted to reconnect or like
Yeah.
and further my relationship with the cultures, there's a part of me that very much feels like I'm not allowed. And nobody's explicitly ever told me like
Yeah.
you're not allowed, but there's a part of me that's like, I is like I don't do I get to do that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like there's a part of me that wants to be like, oh, I would really like to like learn about that or like or incorporate that into my personality, whether it's the clothes I wear or like whatever it is,
music
the
you
music
listen
that I
to,
listen
the
to,
events
or
you
like
go
if I
to.
wanted to get a tattoo that was an homage to it.
Mhm.
There's a part of me that's like, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. Like, it feels, there's part of me that feels like I'm being, like I'm appropriating,
Mhm.
but I'm like I'm not.
Interesting.
But I'm like I'm not though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like like you guys have met my dad. I'm
Yeah.
like that's him. Like that's his culture. And then like when the Asian side, it's like my grandma. Like she just I always
Yeah.
hung out with her growing up. You know.
Yeah.
I've seen her house
And
too.
and I'm like, I don't know. That's just that. I think that's a weird experience because I'm like,
Mhm.
there's a part of me that feels like it's wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't think it is.
Mhm.
But like it's hard to escape. you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly just think that like you can do it. I think that unfortunately you probably just sometimes hit with backlash of
Oh, for
people
sure.
who are like, bro, what the fuck? Like you're not
Yeah.
allowed to do that. And to them, like fuck them. I mean, it's your birthright. I mean, because I think about it, like we were talking about logic and how people say he's not allowed to
Yeah.
say the N word, and I'm like, I mean, but you're not him, and you're not the biracial guy, and I'm not black either. So like his experience,
Yeah.
like
No, you're right.
you know?
Yeah.
So like I know it's gonna be difficult and people are gonna always tell Logic not to say it. But fuck it, I mean he's biracial, bro. And like
Yeah.
then if he feels like it's his right, then it's his fucking life. You know? So I think it'll be rough, but if you really want to do it, if your descendants want to do it, fuck it. The path is there. Just know
Yeah.
that it'll be a journey.
Mhm.
It'll be
Yeah.
a fucking journey.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I could be a pioneer of the culture.
Yeah.
Of
I'll
the
tell you, the
culture.
elder.
I'm the unk.
Yeah.
I'm the James. What's his name? Fucking Edward James Olmos.
You're
Of
the Caesar of
fucking
There's a Caesar.
Asian Latinos. That's funny.
say his words.
Yeah,
Me-
I like the one, I
Mexipinos.
like the one that's like,
He's like, Brendan.
yap his words to me.
Yeah, his words.
That's
Literally.
cool though. That's
Yeah,
good
that
to
was
hear.
cool, Julie. Yeah, that was cool to hear.
But yeah, I thought it was an interesting thing.
Do you got
Yeah.
more?
Yeah. Speaking of Latinos, I'm going to go into Latinas
Damn.
and the state of Latinos in corporate America.
Okay.
So basically, Latinas are basically the lowest representation in corporate America.
Wow.
They are just under, at least in entry level jobs, they are under 5%. And there's only 9% over in the population that like are in the workforce for like corporate workforce. But yeah, and then in like, you know, like the executives and all that, it's like 1% of
Yeah.
Latinos. So there isn't that many, you know, like CEOs, CFOs.
Yeah.
And there's just like a lot of things. So there was this thing that I was learning that it's called broken rung, which is specifically it's to significant I don't know. It's basically to just show that like women encounter a lot of different challenges and obstacles to become, you know, senior like leadership. So like again, like being like CEOs and all that stuff. And I guess I was just reading it because, I mean, when I read it, I was at a low where I was like, damn, it's hard. It's hard out here, bro. It's really hard. But it also did show that there's a lot of women who are still very much fighting to be in corporate America. Which also made me feel like I guess I'm not by myself in like this fight to, I guess, be up in like just to be up, you know, in like different workplaces, because it does seem very lonely sometimes, where it's just like you just walk into a room and it's just you yourself, you know, especially in a lot of predominantly like white spaces. And so basically it was saying that from 100 men promoted from entry level to manager, only 74 Latinas are promoted. And then it said from 100 men promoted to like vice president, 90 Latinas are promoted. So basically, yeah, there's just not a lot of like representation within like corporate America for Latinas. And it's very underrepresented of all the groups. And yeah,
I think that's scary. I think is a scary position to be in. So I empathize a lot with the Latinas in the corporate, because I think, I mean, we talk about traditional law, and I know you guys did it specifically last week. And I think specifically in Latina culture, there's this like idea that the woman is like a subservient to the man. Mm-hmm. So I think to not only be a woman in the workplace, but be a Latina whose culture is telling you that you always have to look to the man as like the boss. I think it's scary because you feel as though like you're outnumbered, you're outgunned, you're alone.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, shout out to a lot of Latinas that are doing it and are being the foundation, the giants that people will step on their shoulders and like go farther in their career. Because that's difficult, man. It's both like difficult because of our culture, and it's both difficult because of just being a woman.
Yeah. And it also said that in 2023, between the entry level and the C-suites, white men's representation increased by 64%, while Latinas decreased by 78%.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
That's bleak.
That's insane.
Oh man, I wonder what gave like weight to that. I wonder why they decreased and increased.
Well, some people were saying, I read it in another article that some people were saying that it is kind of like in some side, I don't know how much the percentage is, but like in some side it is generally because it's just really hard, that like there's not really that much like trying with it, or like they're not really trying to get into these type of jobs anymore, or they're like, oh, it hasn't worked, so I'm just gonna kind of give up on it.
Oh, wow.
That's like in some side. I don't know what the other things are. I think it just is like that. I don't know. Maybe some just corporations generally just don't like hiring sometimes. But it doesn't really go into like that much of like the reason as to why it's been decreasing. But yeah, that's what I had. And I was kind of like, this is
bullshit.
Yeah. I was just like, damn, it's really hard. But I'm also like, I think it just really shows about how much we should, I guess, continue having like the fight for it and having the representation. 'Cause I feel like, especially when it's, I don't know, like corporations who are, I guess, are trying to be a little more inclusive. It's kind of like, how can you try to include like these different communities when you don't have a representation within the company? And I think it just very much, you go off kind of like stereotypes sometimes, where it's just like you think this is what they're gonna like, or this is one representation of this certain community, when it's like sometimes there's a lot more within the culture that isn't. Because I always think about, especially like talking about like Latinos, like I always think about the representation is always like Mexicans, right? Like, oh, like they cater more to like the Mexican side of everything. But it's like within the Latino community, there's more than just Mexicans. You know, there's like the Central Americans, you know, there's a lot more within the Latino community. And it's not just like I don't know, what's something that's like really Mexican, like just like that specific thing isn't just like meant for all of them, you know. Like there's different cultures within the Latino community, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like there's always the misrepresentation of other people, and they're always grouped together in that way. And I feel like in a lot of these companies, they do that a lot. And I think it's really unfair to kind of just categorize them in that way.
Yeah, because if you're Central American, I can imagine that it feels that much more intimidating to be alone. Because at least you have maybe your like Mexican coworkers, but then when the company or whatever are trying to give you a little bone to make you feel represented, to have like a celebration of Cinco de Mayo, and it's like, well, I'm Salvadorian, I don't Cinco de Mayo is a Mexican holiday.
Yeah.
Like, so I just don't get anything.
Mhm.
So I could see what you mean, but definitely I think that misrepresentation makes people feel all that much more lonely, and why even continue to try to work for a company that doesn't even see you as an individual.
Yeah.
It's also a little racist.
Yeah, that too. Where that's why I'm like, the more I was reading this, the more I guess I was getting mad, because I'm like, because I'm
She's just sitting there getting mad reading.
Yeah. Well, because I'm just like, it generally just is like the misrepresentation of just a lot of things, and especially like for women again, like it's just like you have to listen to the man, and it's like there's more than just that, you know. There's more that women can do, and like in these spaces, they're not really allowing us to even move up, you know. And I think it's still, I don't know. I think it's really, I guess, in a way, like heartbreaking to hear that it's still like that. And it's not just us. I mean, of course, there's like, you know, like Asian women and Black women who are probably also like equally going through this too. And I just feel like as a woman, it just seems very unfair. That it's like, again, like we're being told to, I guess, in a way, start being equal and like start moving in these spaces and like be representation, but yet there's a lot of obstacles within that for us to get there. And it's like, it just feels like an unfair fight, you know. Like it just feels very much like you're telling us to be a certain way, that we can be independent, that we can do all these things, but yet like there's another way of like, you guys are giving us all these like challenges to even get there.
Yeah.
And then it's like hearing the thing of like, well, women, like a man can take care of you kind of thing. And it's just like that constant like fight, I guess.
Yeah. Which is understandable, but I also think that there's like at least like silver linings. Like there's I guess like little things that if you're a woman who listens to this and it pisses you off, I think that's encouraging, and I think that's beautiful, because I think that nothing just happens overnight. I think that looking at right now the progress that's being made in corporate America for Latina women, if it's low, then that should piss you off and continue to push back.
Yeah.
And, you know, I trust the process. Hopefully that isn't the same way now, but at least acknowledging it and unveiling it is something that might light a fire in you. Obviously, that's just in the morale in it, and it's not a logical way of combating the oppression that women face in these spaces. But I mean, it's something, you know, it's something that can act as that motivation that maybe just some people out there need.
Yeah. And I guess it's also just the awareness, you know, like even talking about it is just like making us aware of kind of like where we're at within like corporate America.
And
like
we still got more
like,
to go.
Yeah, we still have a lot more to do for women, you know, and especially women of color, you know. There's still a lot to do for women in these types of spaces. And I feel like it's not to really like discourage anyone. It's to more say like, this is where we are, and like we should continue the fight of like, we need more women of color in these spaces.
Yeah. Boom, Julie. That's what I'm saying. Hell yeah. Let me snap. That's good though. That was good, Julie. 2 banger segments. Brandon, what do you have to end us off?
So I also have 2 segments.
Okay.
The first one might be short, but I thought it was a very interesting and fact that I stumbled across. So you guys have seen Sesame Street, right? Do you remember Big Bird's homie, the elephant, like the Snuffleupagus?
Yeah.
You know, he's brown, he's like fuzzy. I don't know why, but I Googled on like Monday if Sesame Street ever acknowledges what he is. Like, do they ever say, like, is he an elephant or is he a mammoth? Like, do they ever outright say, like, oh, that silly elephant?
Yeah.
So I Googled that, right? And there wasn't an answer. Like they just said, no, not really. Like, but then, and you know how sometimes when you Google stuff, there's like those arrows that like have other related questions.
Yeah.
One of them was Snuffleupagus controversy. And I was like, ooh, interesting.
What
Like,
the fuck?
like there's a controversy. And so I read it, and I didn't know this, but you know how Sesame Street goes back to like the 60s, right? Apparently, for the first like 14 years of Sesame Street, Snuffleupagus wasn't canonically real. He was he was Big Bird's like imaginary friend. And I didn't see like any clips, and obviously since this was like in the early stages of Sesame Street, I never knew that. I guess Big Bird would be like, "Oh, what's up, Snuffleupagus?" And then like I guess apparently Big Bird would tell like his homies or like the people that would show up like, "No, I swear he's real," and they'd be like, "Ah, you're tripping."
Yeah.
Apparently, a bunch of parents like noticed that, and they complained and voiced their concerns to Sesame Street that having Big Bird tell parents that about something and them telling Big Bird that he was making things up or imagining things might send the wrong message. So I guess apparently at the time when this happened, there was an increase in kids reporting sexual assault towards them. So they didn't want Sesame Street kind of giving kids accidentally the wrong message of like, if you tell parents something, they're going to make you feel like you're lying or that you're making things up. So in response, Sesame Street then made Snuffleupagus real because they didn't want kids to think that they could tell parents something and they wouldn't be believed. Isn't that interesting?
Whoa, that is
Wow.
interesting. Yeah. What the
Yeah.
fuck? What a interesting fun fact.
What an interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but it's also a little sad. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
"Aw, like that's sad." But I didn't know
No,
that.
it's sad in what way though? What do you mean by that?
Well, because like you know, what a sad way for it to get like canonized. You know, like
You think so?
Not well, because I mean, it's sad that they're like all kids are being coming out saying that they're getting assaulted,
Yeah.
and they needed that. I don't know. It just makes you sad that happens. I guess.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I guess I see it as more positive, but then again, I am recovering
You're
toxic.
a recovering
Wait.
toxic positivity. Yeah.
Wait, so they were lying?
No, the thing was that Big Bird would always say like, "Can you see Snuffleupagus?" Or like, "I was talking to Snuffleupagus," and the adults or like the people in the show would be like, "Nah, you're not seeing anything, Big Bird. That's just your imagination."
So it's teaching kids at home.
So the parents were concerned that kids would see that and be like, "Oh, like if I tell my parents something, they're gonna tell me that I'm lying or that it's just my imagination." And so parents were like, "What if it's something serious like a sexual assault or an abuse?" You don't want kids getting the idea from Big Bird that, oh, if I'm like Big Bird and I tell the parents, they're gonna tell me it's just my imagination. So in turn, they made Snuffleupagus real.
Damn.
Yeah.
It is pretty extreme though.
Right?
Yeah.
It is. But I think when anything revolves around kids, like it's hard for me to not think like anything is too extreme.
Yeah.
Kids are so feeble-minded. Like,
Yeah.
shit, it doesn't seem that serious to us because we're adults and we can like distinguish. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, come on now, doesn't why? But like kids, they'll be like, what if it's true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because especially now, I guess having the perspective of being an uncle and being around my nephew, and he's so gullible and he's so like naive, like
Impressionable.
yeah,
right?
he's so impressionable. Yeah, like I remember I told him that to not touch my tattoo because it's sore, and he's like, "It's sore," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's sore. You know what sore is?" And he's like, "Yeah, obviously."
Yeah.
It's like
Remind me again, just so that I know.
he was like, so it means like if I touch it, like it's gonna like erase, right? I'm like, no, that's not what it means. And that shit had me die because he was like so clearly lying. Like it's weird seeing like a kid develop and like just being like kind of embarrassed and
He was
like just lying.
He was like, "Yeah, I know what that is."
yeah. So that's what I mean by like is an example of like kids are just so impressionable, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
to them things are so simple and they're not as complex. So seeing that, I can see that there a correlation of like, oh my God, like they don't believe Big Bird. How would my parents believe me?
Yeah.
I see it. That's why I see it. I don't think
Yeah.
it's too sad.
Well, no, yeah, I
think-
get you. And you know, Sesame Street. I didn't know I was told because I was always a big Elmo fan. I liked his special where he's a cowboy and he gets a little horse, whatever. But I didn't. You know, they do episodes where Elmo's dad tells him about Elmo's uncle dying. You know, which is I don't know. Props to Sesame Street. They do a really good job with all of that stuff. But I guess using the like whole like kids and parents thing as a segue into my segment, I don't know if you saw on TikTok, there was this mom who she says, like, can we normalize parents giving money to the parents of your kids who are having play dates with? So basically she goes on to say, like, oh, my daughter had a play date with this one of her friends, like this girl. And she basically sent, like, that girl's mother a bill, like, charging her for the play date. And it's insane, like, because she breaks it down like, oh, your daughter went to the bathroom three times, like $4. She had a juice box, $2. She sat on the couch, so she charges it as couch wear and tear, $2. And it's like this itemized bill of all the things that her daughter did. Yeah. And then there was one where it's like, oh, like she spilled a juice box on the table, like clean up, $4, some shit like that. And she sent it to the mom, and she's basically going on this TikTok rant being like, we need to normalize this. Like, it's insane how parents send their kids over and they expect everything to be free and all that shit. What do you guys think about that?
Wait, who was complaining? The one who sent the bill, or
the one who sent the bill? Yeah.
Stupid.
Right.
Dumb. That's dumb.
Isn't that wild though?
That is wild.
Because
I'm just like,
so if I don't pay, you're just not gonna feed my kid.
Well, because there's people like duetting, being like, you know, I guess if I have to really, you know, go off on a tangent, like maybe like for the food or whatever, but she was like charging her for the like flushing the toilet or like toilet paper. And then like I think she did like
ADHD or something.
She did like electricity bill or some shit like that. Like, oh, they had the TV on. It's like, what the fuck? Then why do you have them over?
Are you broke or what?
Yeah, because people were like, I get times are tough right now, but this is fucking insane.
Yeah,
like, you know, like who made that? How'd you come to that conclusion that
that's what it's worth?
That her sitting on the couch, because it's true. She had that was the one that I noticed the most was couch wear and tear. Of her just sitting on the couch, this poor little girl, and she was like, "So you owe me like $3 for that." How do you calculate that? Yeah. You know, someone sitting on your
no, yeah, she's tripping. I was trying to kind of hear her out because, like, I get like under special circumstance.
Yeah.
Let's say they broke something, right? Yeah. They broke like the TV. Yeah. And it's like, well, you guys, I'm not asking your kid, but you like pay me, right? Yeah. Or like when I would go out when I was younger, my dad would give me like $20 for like pizza or something. Yeah. You know, like there, I get it. You know, like I get it. It's for food or something. But like stuff like that, she's doing way too much. I think even then, like, come on, man, they're fucking kids. Like, I'm not a parent, so maybe I can't speak like 100% about it. But I am an uncle, and I feel like if I was with a trusted friend, obviously, because kids are I wouldn't trust my nephew with anybody. But let's say I went out with a friend, and I was like, hey, bro, like, we want to go watch a movie. It's like, just watch them. I'm gonna go pee, and then, he was like, hey, bro, I shared some popcorn with your nephew. Like, can you, like, pay me back for it? I'd be like, you're a fucking asshole. He's a fucking kid. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, he just wanted some fucking popcorn. You're seriously going to be that petty?
When you said that she gave her a receipt or something, I generally thought that it was like, oh, she bought them food. And, like, that's what she wanted her to pay. No. Not that, like, she did just like specifically for, like, breathing in her house.
The SpongeBob No. Breathing. I mean, there was food in there, but it was like, oh, she had a juice box. But like, I gave her a juice box, and they were like $3.
What a broke bitch, bro.
I know, right? But I'm just like, does she have that energy for like adults who go to her house? Like, hey, bro, you flush the toilet? Like, that's the water bill.
That's such a good point.
You know, like, I don't know. That's
picking on a bunch of kids like a fucking douchebag.
It seems so like manipulative to be like, oh, well, it's your kid, bro. Like, I'm not watching your kid. Like, you know, it's like you think this is a daycare?
Then why accept?
Like, why do you have them over?
Yeah. Why the fuck would you even say to if you're like gonna get mad that they're gonna waste your money,
or have your daughter go to their house if it's really that serious about money, you know?
I also think growing up with having cousins and people in my family who weren't exactly the richest and were low income, and like literally cousins who lived in South Central or like just places with low economy, and we would stay over at their house. You remember this, Julie? Did they ever bill my parents for feeding us and giving us water? No. And so you can't use the argument of like, oh, you know, times are tough. It's like, fuck you. There's people, I literally know people in my life who couldn't even afford taking like the fucking car to work, and they
Yeah.
never once billed my parents for looking over us.
Yeah.
You know, like I just think like that's such like a selfish way of thinking.
That's just insane. It's like the fucking Krusty Krab meme, bro. Like $1 a footstep. Like, cause she fucking charges her to use the bathroom. Like that poor little girl. She's supposed to go there and not use the bathroom.
Yeah, I
like the fuck.
She can't even sit, bro.
Yeah, she literally
can't
couldn't
even
even sit. Wear and tear on the couch. Like this little girl. She probably weighs like 20 pounds, bro. Like I don't know.
That's kind of funny though. In a way, it's funny because she really thought.
Yeah,
She thought she ate.
She really
Yeah.
well, cause she does the TikTok of like, can we normalize it? I think she assumed like everybody was gonna be like, finally somebody said it, bro.
It's like finally you said what was on all our minds.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that maybe you could put into consideration, like how I said, like if I fed your kid, like I feel like I low key would be fine with it. Like I'm kind of like it's fine. Like I had to feed him. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
But there's some people who maybe like would at least appreciate it if you offered a little bit of like,
Yeah.
oh, here's like a little bit because you fed my kid or something.
Yeah.
Like, but to do something where it's just like she's just walking and like
Yeah.
that's like so unnecessary.
Also, you probably buy Capri Suns for your nephew, right? How much is a pack of Capri Suns? Like fucking $6?
Yeah, it's not that much. I think it's like 12.
So then actually that's a lot. Well, I was like, cause like how much?
I might be tripping though. I
Well,
might be
cause like
tripping.
how much? How does she know that one Capri Sun
Let's
is
look
like
it up.
is worth $1? Like I'm like that's
it's worth
fucked up.
$2,
I
and then
know.
she spilled it, and that was $4.
Yeah, I know.
She spilled it. Why would it increase if she
I
spilled
don't know. I guess to me it's
Well, because
more
I guess
like,
she's using what like shit to like clean or some shit.
I guess to me it's more. Like, I guess to me it's more like you're hosting. Like you're hosting somebody. Like you invited them into your home.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe I doubt the little girl was like, hey, like I'm coming over to your house.
Yeah.
I'm sure the lady's daughter was like, do you want to come over to my house and play? And then she told her mom like, oh, can I have my friend over? And she was like, yeah. So I'm like, why are you acting like they just threw their daughter on you? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
for a 30 pack, it's $10.
for a 30 pack?
Yeah.
So
$10.
divided by what? It's like
10 divided by 30 is like probably like
$3.
not even. It's like fucking like 50 cents.
She charged that poor fucking girl. I don't know. That's insane. People are getting out of pocket.
They are, especially with their kids.
I know, right?
Or I'm just like, y'all are weird for
It's
that.
like that same with that one little girl, but it's the other way around where what was it? It was this little girl. She was at the park with her mom, and that like she made friends with some little girl who was also at the park having a birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and they just made friends that day, and the little girl like I guess offered the other girl like a piece of cake, and the mom was like, no, like you don't get to have that, and the other little girl's mom was like, I get it, like it's not.
Oh,
Like she wasn't invited,
Mhm.
No. Like it was so let's say you're my kid
Okay.
and Julie's having a birthday party.
Okay.
You guys randomly made friends because you guys were at the same park.
Uh-huh.
And Julie invited you to get a piece of cake.
Uh-huh.
And then Julie's mom was like, you can't fucking have any. You weren't invited. And so now the girl's mom, who is the girl that you're playing, was
Yeah.
like, I get it. She wasn't invited, but like going out of your way to be like, nah, fuck no, is a little like, I don't know.
Yikes.
It's a little mean, no? Or I don't know.
It is mean. It is mean because I understand it to a degree because I think situations like that are at least more common than the first thing you talked about. And I understand that. It's like, especially if you have like a certain amount of baggies for a certain amount of kids there. I get it. Like if you had like that.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But I think it's always the execution that I think is where people fall short. And I think the execution of ripping it out of the kid's hands and being like, the fuck out of here. It's like, damn, what's your problem, bro?
Or give
That's how you start fighting someone in the park.
Give them a smaller piece, or like
Yeah,
give
I
them
don't
a
know.
lollipop or
Come
something.
on, don't be so
Yeah.
cruel. They're
I
just
know.
kids.
Yeah, people are cruel. I don't know.
No, that didn't make sense. I was gonna say I get it because I not that I was cruel with kids, but I didn't have the perspective I did before my nephew was born. But I was like, wait a minute, these guys are mothers. If anything, they should have more perspective than I do now.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's mostly
Yeah.
my.
I
Segment,
mean, I've
yeah.
always said that it's weird how there's a lot of grown adults who are really mean to kids, and like unnecessarily mean to them.
Maybe
You know?
some people shouldn't have kids.
I think
No, yeah,
it's,
some people shouldn't, because there was a video. It was on Twitter
yeah.
of like this lady. She had her feet like, I think it was at like a baseball game or something, and she had her feet up.
Oh.
And then the kid was like trying to move in the aisle, and she didn't move her feet, so he jumped over her legs because she wouldn't move her feet, and then the lady kicked the kid, and then the kid was like, I think the kid was like, she's like, bro, I'm fucking 11, like you're a grown ass woman, like why the fuck are you acting? Well, he didn't say that, but he's like, why are you acting like that? And then he's like, I'm 11 years old and you're a grown person. And then
I did see that.
He ate her up.
I did see that.
He ate her up.
That's weird. I don't know. I'm surprised she didn't get her fucking.
I know.
Because the fuck.
I would beat the fuck out of someone for that.
I would have kicked her. If that was my kid, I would have gone over and kicked her. I would have been like, bro, don't fucking kick my kid.
No, that was my kid. Yeah. I'll fuck her ass.
That's why I'm like, I don't get why people. I guess it's kind of like the power dynamic again.
Yeah.
But it's just like, bro, they're just fucking
kids. It doesn't even have to be my kid. If I saw someone do it to a fucking kid, I'm like, come on, bro. Fucking relax.
Have some respect, bro. No, yeah, I think, no, but you're right. I think it is a power dynamic thing. I think a lot of people are like miserable and sad and they feel powerless. So when they see kids, they're like, finally, I can have power, you know?
Yeah.
And so,
yeah. I guess ending off the episode, defend kids, protect kids, fucking hear them out, bro. Be nice to them. And if you fucking hate kids, then don't have a kid. Because then what are you doing? Or hang around kids.
Yeah.
You know? And also, if you hate kids, look inside yourself. Why do you hate kids? Kids are literally fucking innocent. Yeah. They're about as pure. Do you ever wish that humans were pure? Look at a fucking kid. A kid is pretty pure. If you think they're annoying, if you fucking hate them, you're literally a walking contradiction. Yeah. And you should look inside
I agree.
Inside your own brain. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys gave me a lovely welcome back.
Yeah. Shout out to Yoel, Jada Chicano, Angel Zamaron, Sarah Taranage, Stephen Carvajal, and Carla Corazon. We love our patrons. Thank you for always supporting us. Thank you for watching this episode, guys. If anybody out there ever wants to join the Patreon, our link is always in the bio.
It's there.
So you guys can click that. There's a lot of great content on there. But thank you to everybody who watched today. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
See ya.